thought he could be as a hitter.
Yeah.
He had that kind of pop. And I think if you go back to that 2016 Cubs team, they were loaded with young hitters.
Yeah.
And if you were buying stock in these guys, who would take Kyle Schwarber among this group? I mean, the buzz was about Baez, first-round pick. Chris Bryant, number 2 overall, right? Anthony Rizzo. And here is Schwarber at this point in his career, you can say, is better than all of them.
Yeah.
And we didn't see that early on because of the trouble he had against left-handed pitching.
Also, it's interesting because Soler and Addison Russell, you have to remind yourself, they were top prospects at the time. That's interesting. We're going to ask you again, and let us know on X, because I won't answer that right now. What does he get on the free agent market? I mean, I'm thinking quite a bit, right? Like, I don't know where it lands.
At least 25 a year.
He's making 20 now, but age 32, DH, and that sort of thing. Was it 4 years at 25? Does it make 4 and 100?
The problem is
I think so.
He's got to go to a winning team. Like, he can't go to a team that's rebuilding. He can't go to a team like the White Sox. Right. A team like Marlins. He's got to go to a winning team. That's who he is. And not to mention, he's 100 homers shy of what, 400? So he's going to want to be at a place that he's going to mash, he's going to hit, and most importantly, he's going to be in the postseason.
It's such a huge impact. Another player that's in his mid-30s now. That's just somewhat. He's a superstar. He's still somewhat unappreciated, even after the World Series last year. Freddie Freeman. Marlins, by the way, walked 2 guys, Ohtani and Betts. Eventually got to Freeman. He cleared the bases with a triple. Dodgers beat Miami 10-1. They've got the best record in the sport. And, I've been talking about the many flaws of these Dodgers, Tom. There's the malaise of the Dodgers. And yet, why they have the best record in the sport still? They're so deep. The global domination, all of that. Freeman's hitting 362. He's got a 435 on base. Casey's slugging 713. He is leading. He's got a bad ankle. He fell in the shower, and he leads the league in batting average and slugging. He's 35, Casey. Yeah. These are monstrous years.
And still running out that triple.
Tremendous.
I think what we saw in the postseason last year was like Freddie Freeman. Can you get even better? Yeah, I can get even better. And then coming in this year, it's been incredible. You look at this right here. He's one of 11 players with a 300 batting average, 500 doubles, and hit his 350th home run the other day. This guy, we're looking at a guy that's going to be in Cooperstown, no doubt about it. We're looking at one of the most special, pure hitters this game has ever seen.
Right, he's a line-to-line hitter.
Yeah, you've got to really appreciate Freddie Freeman. Look and appreciate what we're looking at.
I remember in the World Series, you have to know the time and place. But Yonder, I remember at the World Series last year, it was Ohtani, Judge, Soto, Betts, and Freddie Freeman. And it was like, and Freddie. By the end of the World Series, it wasn't and Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, he was the MVP. Look, he's one of 6 guys all time who has 350-plus home runs. He's won a World Series MVP, and he's won a league MVP. So it tells you who this guy is. And when I look at him, I remember coming up with him from AA, Fall League, and in the big leagues those first years with the Braves. He checks off every box of what it means to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you look at him, well, shows up, plays every day, and produces. I think for me, this guy is a no-brainer Hall of Famer and just an incredible career. I talked to him in spring training. He said he doesn't know if he'll ever be able to walk the same for the rest of his life.
Makes $27 million a year, Tom. That's a bargain. That free agent deal is a bargain for the Dodgers.
Should have never left the Braves. And the mistake on the Braves, I put it on the same level as the Red Sox letting Mookie Betts go.
Wow.
You have a franchise player, homegrown, going to the Hall of Fame. There's no reason not to sign him. I know you had your eye on Matt Olson. He's younger. He was cheaper. You locked him up. Local guy. I get all that. It's nothing against Matt Olson. I want Freddie Freeman. I judge great hitters. How much trouble do you cause the opposing manager? Late in the game, matching up. You can't match up on Freddie Freeman. And that guy's on second base. If I can pick one guy to knock him in, it's Freddie Freeman. You can look at his spray chart. Runners in scoring position, line to line. The hits are all over the field. So he's a guy who hits velocity, he hits breaking pitches, lefties don't bother him at all. He's a nightmare matchup for the opposing manager. That's why he's so good in October.
Also, the other thing that you throw in there that I don't just dismiss, because I think we saw Stan Musial on one of those boards that you put up there, Case. You talk about a guy who doesn't give you a headache for 6 months. Right. He's you guys know the club. He's no issue. Yeah. Right. He's easy on everybody. He can be a leader, but it's just easy to live with this guy year after year.
He's so consistent. He's so consistent. And that's when you're in that clubhouse, when you know a guy like that's on your team, you know where he's going to show up. He's going to hit right in the middle of that lineup. You know he's going to wants to play every day. He's so consistent and he puts up the numbers. And he's a model teammate. He's everything you want.
A perfect teammate for me when people ask me is 30, 300, and 100. You show up at 7 o'clock every day, you're my favorite teammate.
But I love the fact when he got to the Dodgers, he saw everybody on their iPads. And he's like, we had too many iPads. So they limited to 3 or 4 in the dugout so that there was more talk between players rather than just getting lost in your own little world.
Right, it's a
great teammate.
He had 6 years where he missed only 11 games. 2018 and 23. 11 games.
Right.
Kidding me?
35 and doing this. I know. So Dodgers still on top. When we come back, we'll talk more Dodgers. Rob Parker. Is Shohei Ohtani plateauing? That's the time. And all I can say is thank God for Rob Parker. No one else is saying that. He's saying it. We get to go against
Rob
that next.
Parker.
Again, I say thank God for Rob Parker. He shows up on the showdown and he says the most outrageous things. And occasionally he's right. And I admit it when it happens. How are you, Rob?
I'm good, BK. How are you? Outrageous. I'm just trying to keep it real here.
You're your own guy. I'll give you credit. All right, here's your topic number one, because Rob sends these in. Here we go. Shohei Ohtani has plateaued. Sell me on that.
BK, have you watched this year? Oh, my goodness gracious. Here we go. I'll just give you the numbers. 10 home runs and 15 RBI. I don't know about you, but that sounds like Dave Kingman with a better batting average. I mean, really? 15 RBIs? We're in May? I mean, I've seen this guy strike out a number of times. It means you're not knocking in anybody when it's not a home run. So that's not the Shohei Ohtani I saw a year ago. That's all I'm saying.
Rob,
there's no way you could have 10 home runs and 15 RBIs.
You know RBIs are reliant on your teammates. You realize that, right? Like, you can only drive guys in when they're on base, and that's not up to you. Let me show you his last 3 years, because Shohei Ohtani's last 3 years, he is actually almost the same guy. The batting average is within 11 points. On base, almost identical. Slugging, all right, I'll give you this. He's 26 points lower than last year. But his OPS plus, it's higher this year than the previous 2 years. He's essentially the same guy. Like Stan Musial, like Mickey Mantle didn't have identical years like that. He's about the same guy.
No, and here's where I'm talking about. He's supposed to be on a plateau with Aaron Judge, these two MVP type seasons. I can sit here honestly and say I expect even more for Aaron Judge as he continues. Ohtani is not going to match last year's season, and I can't see him as we go forward have a better year than that. Can I look at Aaron Judge and say he's going to have better years than he had this past year? Yes, I do believe that.
And that's what is making him like an all-time great. I just mentioned Mickey Mantle. Like, Judge is up there with Mickey Mantle. That's the highest praise. Ohtani also, I'll just throw in, Rob, and just listen for a second. Ohtani leads the league in runs scored. He leads the league in triples. He's slugging 600. Later this year, he's going to pitch. What are you missing? He's the same guy that he was last year, except now he's going to pitch eventually.
No, but Brian, come on. 15 RBIs on 10 home runs.
You got to get out of the 70s. RBIs, you have to have guys on base. That's your teammates. So his teammates are not getting on base. And if you say he's plateauing, if he's plateauing at a peak, that's not a plateau. He's peaking. He's staying at a peak.
No, he's not staying at a peak because he had more RBIs. So now all of a sudden, you're telling me he's not getting it. You're telling me he's getting no hits when guys are on base, or is it just home runs?
So he's choking with men on base. He's not getting guys on base, even with the Dodgers, or he's leading off in the bottom of that order. I don't even know. Is he leading off? The bottom of the order is not getting on base for him.
BK, I live in Los Angeles. I watch Dodger games. I've seen him strike out plenty of times in situations with guys on base. It's not like he's getting a hit every time guys are on base, is all I'm saying.
But he's getting on base 40% of the time. He's getting on base can we show the numbers again? Just the last 3 years. He's getting on base 40% of the time. He's slugging 600. Rob, I'd be happy to hate on the top dog. I mean, that's what we do. But I'm sorry. He's slugging 620. There's no hate. There's nothing there's no there.
BK, will he match last year's numbers? I'm going to ask you. He's going to have the same numbers he had last year?
Percentage-wise, I bet you that slash line is almost identical. It's almost identical. The answer is yes.
He will not have 50 steals.
RBIs are fluctuating. Well, 50 steals, right, won't happen because then he's going to be pitching eventually. All right, let's get to this.
Will he have 50 home runs?
50 home runs? Possibly. Possibly.
No, he will
What's he
not.
on pace for? 45, 46? It's possible.
Yeah, but that's on pace.
And that's his
it
totals.
Could be less than that. It could be 38. I'm just saying. And that's a pace.
He's on pace for 44. He's on pace for 44. Are there years where Mantle won the Triple Crown with 56 homers and then he had 44? Yes. And he was still Mickey Mantle at his peak. All right. I love this shtick too. But what do you think of Juan Soto now? Last 18 games, Rob. He's hitting about 300, 400 on base, slugging 552. You see that first home run? That's in a 0-0 game. Look at this home run. You got to give it up, Rod. He's not so-so anymore.
No, he's come around, and it's a good thing. I told you he would struggle early going to the Mets and whatnot. I think the thing that I look at the most when I think about Juan Soto and what he's done is the lack of impact it's had as far as adverse to the Yankees. That's what's shocking. He had an unbelievable year in the Bronx, hit over 40 home runs. He was in the middle of everything. It seemed like he was getting big hits left and right. And somehow he leaves the Yankees and they're still winning. And they're still on the top of the AL East. And they have injuries all over the place. I think that to me is the most shocking thing about their
offense, though, Rob, their offense would be so much better with Soto in it. They're really missing Soto this year. In the next 3 to 5 years, 15 years is another story, whether they should have signed him for that long. Eventually that's going to be regrettable. But this year, the Yankees would be a monstrous machine if they had Soto in the middle of that lineup. Come on.
But look at where they are. First place, they lead baseball in home runs, and Giancarlo Stanton hasn't even played a game yet.
Yeah, Ben Rice is hitting. Right. It's a different team. With Soto in the middle, they'd be so much better. All right. Here's one where I'm not going to argue with you. Well, I'll argue a little bit. I can't help myself. Is it time to revisit the Javi Baez situation in Detroit? Go ahead.
Yes, I think he's a comeback player of the year. I mean, he was left for dead. I mean, Javi Baez couldn't hit his way out of a wet paper bag. It was so bad. And now he's batting .318 with the Tigers. And he's playing the field. He plays center field like he was in high school or something.
Yeah.
Making plays.
Yeah.
He's not trying to crush every ball. He's actually being more focused at the plate. And has returned to a decent player for the Tigers, and they're leading the AL Central, and he's contributed. He's the AL comeback player of the year.
I'm stunned by it. You're absolutely right. Him playing center field, you're right. It's something that's like, this guy can just do anything, right? A lot of guys can't. They go to center field, they look bad. They're exposed. Not Javi Baez. Somehow he's able to time things. He's a natural seemingly out there. His hitting has been good. But, Rob, let me just show you something that will kind of give you a portend for the future. The difference between his WOBA, that's his hitting, that's his results, and his expected results. He's overperforming by a wide margin, third highest, like Carson Kelly is on that list as well. These guys are going to regress a bit. And Javi Baez, he hasn't changed his plate selection that much or his strikeouts that much. He's gotten a little better, but on the by and large, those numbers I would expect to come back. They're going to come back the way he plays.
I'm not going to say he's going to hit .318 for the season. I agree with that. But you got to give him some credit from the standpoint that he was left for dead had it not been for this contract, which has this year and 2 more on it. Had it not had that contract, he would have been released by the Tigers. There's no way he would still be on this team.
No. He deserves credit, right? He has filled in. They've needed him. Parker Meadows hurt. He's gone to center, has filled that spot, and they're about the best team in the American League, Yankees and Tigers. Give you credit there. Rob, thank you so much. See, thank God for Rob Parker.
Always the best. Remember this, when Shohei doesn't win the National League MVP this year, you're going to come back to this video and say Rob Parker called it. He said that he plateaued in May, and he's not the NL MVP.
Oh, good. I hope I can say that, and while saying Ellie De La Cruz is the MVP. How about that? We do that?
Not batting .265.